Hey, yo, what's up, y'all? Good afternoon. Welcome to the podcast with Soul. Follow me on my Instagram. The podcast with Soul on Instagram. And if you're new, here for the first time, I'm gonna clean my camera, y'all. Hold on. Welcome to the channel. I'm 55 years old. I'm born in 1969. I graduated high school in 1987. I graduated high school in 1987. And my mother, shout out to Georgia Gummy's still alive. She had it in my mind since I hit grade school, junior high school, that I was going to college. And that I was going to college in Atlanta, Georgia at Morris Brown, which is a historically black college that her brother went to. She was saying that, man, it was on repeat from probably about the 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade. I graduated June of 1987. In August of 1987, 60 days later, I was in Borders Towers in the dormitory in Atlanta, Georgia, enrolled as a freshman at Morris Brown College. I was 18 years old, and my mother left me down there. She took me. At that time, there was a First Atlanta Bank in the West End, right over there by the West End Mall. On the corner was a Krispy Kreme. And Taco Bell was there, Church's Chicken was there, and it was a First Atlanta Bank. And she went in there, she opened me up a checking account, and she put $400 in that checking account and got me a Tilly card, which was an ATM card. They called them Tilly cards at that time. And she took me back to the dormitory, and she dropped me off, and she told me, "I'll see you later." And she jumped in her car and she drove back to New Jersey, and she left me in Atlanta, in college, in a dorm, by myself at 18 years old. I didn't even know how to wash clothes with $400. And that was probably the best thing she could have done for me, because it forced me to grow up. It taught me self-reliance and self-trust. It taught me independence. I was always an independent kid. I grew up in the 1970s and the 1980s here in North Jersey. And I walked to school. I got up in the morning. This is from 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, all the way up. I woke up in the morning, got dressed, and walked to school and walked home with my own key. By myself. Well, when I was in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, me and Timmy used to walk together. Timmy was 3 years older than me, so when I was in the 1st grade, Timmy was in the 5th grade, or the 4th grade, 3rd, whatever it was. And me and him used to walk to school together and walk home, no matter how cold it was, how hot it was, raining, feet wet from the snow, feet cold from the snow, hands cold from the snow. It didn't matter. So, and most kids that grew up during that time period had the same experience. You know, my mother had to work. So we were forced to be independent real early. So I was always independent. And I learned that early on. But when I graduated high school, I went straight to college. Because at that time, in 1987, that was the thing to do. You know, my mother was from the South. My mother's from Georgia. She picked cotton as a little girl for 75 cents a day. She went to segregated schools. You know, she went to the black schools. The white kids went to the white schools. She had inferior books, inferior instruction, because the teachers obviously were foundational black American, and they were teaching in a segregated foundational black American school. So the books, the pencils, the paper, all of that stuff was secondhand or low grade. And obviously, if my mother was a student in a segregated school, the teacher who was teaching this school grew up in a segregated situation, probably further behind in terms of intellectual academia than what my mother. So, you know, education was always stressed and always important for my mother. She always stressed that with me, and I stressed that with Sean. I'm intelligent, and I love being intelligent. I love that I have a great vocabulary. I love that I know how to read. I'm very good with numbers. I know how to count. I can write. I can articulate my thoughts with my speech, and I can articulate my thoughts with a pen on a piece of paper. And I'm very proud of that. I get a lot of pussy that way. The smart niggas, the intelligent dudes, the smart niggas get all the pussy. But, you know, looking back, what my mother was teaching me, she meant well, her intentions were good, but she was only going on her life experience and what she was told at the time. Go to school, get an education, get a job, retire, get a pension, get married, get a house with a fence and a Ford and a Chevrolet in the driveway and 2.3 kids, a washing machine and a dryer, and live happily ever after, retire at 60 and then die. That was what was pumped in school from the guidance counselor, from the teachers, from the parents, everybody. And it wasn't bad strategy, but it wasn't entrepreneurial strategy, right? My mother was an entrepreneur. My mother was a nurse. She was a registered nurse. She started off as a nurse's aide, I think making 90 cents an hour. And then she went to school, became an LPN, and from the LPN, she went on to go to Passaic County Community College in Paterson, New Jersey. She got her AA degree in nursing, and she sat for the New Jersey State Board, and she passed it, and she became a registered nurse. And then she started to have a better lifestyle because her income increased. You know, it was an interesting story how my mother got into nursing, how she got into the nursing program. I'm gonna tell you this story. Her and her friend Mary Barr, that was my mother's friend to the end. Mary Barr was good people. Fight. Her and my mother used to fight. They get drunk and fight. My mother and Mary and Gwen, those were her two friends, was working at a nursing home at Daughters of Miriam in Clifton, New Jersey on Hazel Street. And Mary Barr had applied for a nursing program or something at some school, might have been at Passaic County Community College. And she had put the number down to her job for the school to call her when they were trying to get in touch with her to come to the nursing program. So the lady called Mary. Phone ring. So my mother told me this story. My mother said she answered the phone. She said, hello. And the lady said, this is so-and-so from the nursing program at Passaic County Community College in Paterson, New Jersey. I'm trying to get in touch with Mary Barr to let her know we have an opening for the nursing program starting this semester, and wanted to see if she was still interested in coming. She can get in. So my mother said, all right, hold on a second. And she said, Mary, this the lady from the school, from the nursing school. She want to know if you want to come down. She want to talk to you. They got a spot for you in the nursing program. She on the phone now. And my mother said that Mary called from down the hall and said, tell that lady to kiss my ass. That's what Mary Barr told my mother. Tell that lady to kiss my ass. And my mother said she heard her and she told her, she said, hello, miss. Mary says she don't want to go, but I'll go. And the lady on the phone said, okay, well, you come on down here tomorrow and sign up and we'll get you in that program for this semester. And my mother went down and she got in that program as a nurse's aide, making 90 cents an hour. And then by the time she left New Jersey, she was making well over $100,000 a year, doing doubles, you know, private duty and stuff like that, registered with the registry. She became a registered nurse. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with school, at least definitely not during that particular era. So I knew I was going to college, and but let me tell you something, man, about going to college. A college degree don't guarantee you nothing. A college degree, it didn't guarantee me anything in 1987, and it doesn't guarantee you anything in 2025. Even more so now than before. If I knew what I knew now, if I knew then what I know now in 1987, I would have graduated high school and started me a business right out of the gate. Whatever kind of business that would have been. Mechanic, landscaping, painting, window cleaning, plumbing, HVAC, transportation, whatever. I would have started me a business right off the rip at 18. And with my youth and not having any kids, without having no wife, and being full of energy and young and strong and can survive off of minimal sleep and minimal food, I probably would have turned that business, whatever it was, into probably $100,000 to $200,000 business in about 4 or 5 years, if I would have really worked at it easily. And if I would have graduated high school today, I wouldn't go to no college. I wouldn't go to no school. I would start me a business right out of motherfucking high school. I would maybe even quit school, not go to school, and start a business when I'm 15, 16, and teach myself how to count, read and write, and probably get me a tutor to teach me how to read and write and count, and go to the library and discipline myself to read a certain number of books a month and copy those books down to learn how to write, and just learn how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. That's all you need. Algebra, geometry, trigonometry, algebra 2, calculus. You don't need none of that to get rich. That's what I would do. I would become an entrepreneur right out the gate. I'm eating some chocolate chip cookies. Because in 2025, with the advent of artificial intelligence and technology, all these jobs of accountants and managers and accounts receivable and accounts payable, all these white collar jobs are going to disappear, because an algorithm or artificial intelligence will be able to do that job. The jobs that are going to be the safest jobs going forward are entrepreneurial, blue collar, technical jobs, plumbers, window washers, landscapers, mechanics, HVAC, painters. Those are going to be the jobs. Not to say that a robot can't do them, but not as easily and not as readily as it could do an accountant's job or a lawyer's job, right? Or a receptionist job, or a executive job, right? Or a marketing job. Trade school jobs are going to be what's in demand. And if I was getting out of high school this week or this year, I'd be going entrepreneur right off the rip. I'd start a business right off the rip. I would not go to college. The only thing you're going to really miss about college is going to be the social interaction and the fun. If little Sean graduated and said, Dad, I don't want to go to college, I wouldn't be mad at him. I'd say, okay, you don't got to go. And I would help him start him a business at 18 years old. Be an entrepreneur. Don't go to college and get this degree and use your knowledge to make somebody else rich. Go to school, get a degree, and use your knowledge to make you rich. And take advantage of opportunity. Take advantage of opportunity. Opportunity is like a jealous woman. If you don't pay her no attention, she'll leave you. She'll leave you. When opportunity comes, you got to jump on it. Quick. Peace.